In the ancient land of Israel, during the time of the Judges, there lived a young shepherd named David. Born in Bethlehem, the youngest of 8 sons of Jesse, David was a boy of modest beginnings but great promise. He spent his early days tending to his father's sheep, learning the ways of the land and the habits of the animals he guarded. David's life changed when the prophet Samuel, guided by God, came to Bethlehem to anoint the future king of Israel. King Saul, the reigning monarch, had disobeyed God's instruction. God instructed Samuel to visit Jesse and anoint one of his sons. Despite the appearances and stature of David's elder brothers, God chose the young shepherd, declaring to Samuel,
"Rise and anoint him. This is the one."
"The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Anointed with oil, David was filled with the Spirit of the Lord from that day forward. Although he returned to his sheep, his destiny was set on a grander path. One day, the Philistines, a formidable enemy of Israel, sent their greatest warrior, Goliath, to challenge the Israelites. Goliath, a giant standing over 9 feet tall, mocked the Israelites and their God, instilling fear in the hearts of Saul's soldiers. David, sent by his father to bring food to his brothers on the battlefield, heard Goliath's taunts. Despite his youth and inexperience in battle, he was incensed by the Philistines' blasphemy. With faith in God's deliverance, David volunteered to face Goliath. King Saul, doubtful but desperate, offered David his armor, but the shepherd boy declined. Armed only with his sling and 5 smooth stones from a brook, David approached the giant. As Goliath advanced, David declared,
"You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied."
With a single stone from his sling, David struck Goliath on the forehead, and the giant fell to the ground, dead. David's victory over Goliath began his rise to fame and favor among the people of Israel. David's courage and skill earned him a place in King Saul's court, where he played the harp to soothe the king's troubled spirit. He became a close friend to Jonathan, Saul's son, and a trusted warrior, leading successful campaigns against Israel's enemies. However, Saul's jealousy grew as David's popularity increased. Fearing David's potential to usurp the throne, Saul sought to kill him. Forced to flee, David lived as a fugitive, gathering a band of loyal followers. Despite opportunities to kill Saul and claim the throne, David spared his life, respecting Saul as the Lord's anointed king. David's integrity and faithfulness earned him respect and support from many in Israel. Saul's relentless pursuit of David eventually ended in tragedy. In a battle against the Philistines, Saul and his sons, including Jonathan, were killed. With Saul's death, the path was clear for David to become king. The tribe of Judah anointed him king in Hebron, and after a long civil war with Saul's house, the rest of Israel followed. As king, David conquered Jerusalem, establishing it as the capital of Israel and bringing the Ark of the Covenant there, symbolizing God's presence among his people. Under David's rule, Israel grew in strength and prosperity, and he was known as a man after God's own heart. However, David's life was not without sin and suffering. In a moment of weakness, David committed adultery with Bathsheba, the wife of Uriah, one of his loyal soldiers. When Bathsheba became pregnant, David attempted to cover his sin by summoning Uriah from the battlefield, hoping he would lie with his wife. But Uriah's loyalty to his comrades kept him from doing so. Desperate, David arranged for Uriah to be placed in the front lines where he was killed. God sent the prophet Nathan to confront David. Nathan told David a parable of a rich man who took a poor man's only lamb, stirring David's anger. When Nathan revealed that David was the man in the parable, David was stricken with guilt. He repented deeply, and though God forgave him, the consequences of his sin brought turmoil to his household. The child born to Bathsheba died, and David's family was plagued by strife and rebellion. Despite his failures, David's heart remained devoted to God. He prepared for the construction of the temple, a task that would be completed by his son Solomon. David's psalms, born out of his experiences, expressed his deep faith, repentance, and worship, becoming a source of comfort and inspiration for generations. David reigned for 40 years, leaving a great legacy. His life, marked by triumph and tragedy, faith and failure, illustrated the complexity of the human condition and the boundless grace of God. From the lineage of David came the promised Messiah, Jesus Christ, fulfilling God's covenant and establishing an eternal kingdom.